Okay, if you are watching this somewhere other than the Author Like a Boss page or group, feel free to come over and join us in Author Like a Boss. It's me and Megan, my partner in creativity. We have so much fun. Okay, so I'm going to jump into this. You guys, no matter what genre you write, no matter what you are doing as an author, to be successful as an author, what you're going to need to have is an email list and newsletter. Okay, so the difference is between having a bunch of sales on the day that your book comes out versus not having any. Like it were crickets. But having that newsletter is so awesome. And I talk about it a lot in some of the other videos. So I'm just going to say, but like, you need to have it because it's the direct connection to your ideal customers. It is, you don't have to worry about any social media things changing their algorithm like Facebook has recently done because you have their emails yourself. So how many of you guys have tried to make have thought about or wanted to make an email or send out a newsletter before, start collecting emails, and are just like, I don't know how? Like, how many people have been like, I'm not sure? She's like, oh yeah, and if you're like, okay, I could send a newsletter even though, I wonder about the topics, but I could do it. But then how do I get people to sign up to the list? How many people have been like, I don't even know how to get people on there besides my friends and family who do it as a favor to me? If that's true for any of you, like, let me know. And for sure, it has been me. For sure, I've been like, I don't know. I don't know how. How do I get people on there? I've learned now, though. That's what I'm going to tell you. I've learned. I'm so excited to share it with you. Okay. So today, I'm going to talk about how to build your email list. I'm going to do a Q&A, and then I'm going to kind of recap for anybody who's new to the group what some of the other we went through in some of the other videos. And I know I had said that I was going to give examples, and what I'll do is I'll just post some of those examples in the Author Like a Boss group later, because I was like, I forgot to tell them how to build their email list. That's more important than samples. I will share the samples in a document later today. So if you guys are like, I really want to see some sample newsletter signups and newsletters, let me know. Go ahead and let me know. And if I hear from anybody, I will share that. Okay. So today I'm talking about. Okay, so if it sounds good for me to talk about how to build your email list, do a Q&A, say hi to Charlie. Charlie. And then briefly recap some of the other trainings so that those people who are new, or maybe if you missed them, you know where to go to find everything you need to know about your newsletter. Okay, awesome, Karen. I will share the samples in the group later. I just was like, oh, I should do how to build your email list. That's harder. That's important. I will share those later. Okay, when I'm done with this video. Okay, so let's start. How to build your email list. And I'm just gonna give you how to build it. Okay, so the first way to build your email list, and this way gets a lot of people and it's pretty easy, is to do a giveaway. Okay, so what you do on a giveaway is, in exchange for an email address, you give people the opportunity to win something. And we really, really recommend having them win a book in your genre. And the reason why we do this, and I talk about giveaways. I feel like I talk about giveaways, but the reason we have them do it in your genre, do a book in your genre, is because, one, their readers. Like if you do an Amazon gift card, people could buy whatever they want with that Amazon gift card. And so it's not so you're not filtering out your people who are not your ideal customer, because anybody could buy something with an Amazon gift card, but only certain people are going to want to win a book in your genre, especially if it's an ebook, because they'll have a Kindle or a Kindle app. Like, you're filtering it down to be your ideal customers, so that the people who give you their email address are people who will want to read your book when it comes out. So that's why we say do a book in your genre. Okay. And so they give you their email address for a chance to win this book. And then when somebody wins it, you announce the winner, you add all those people to your email list, and then you give them something else. You give everybody who didn't win something else, something free that doesn't cost you anything, but that's fun and makes them want to stay on your email list. Okay, so it could be a short story, it could be a coloring book, it could be something, but you give them something to keep them on your email list, even though they didn't win the book. Okay, so that's the first way. And that way works really well to get like chunks of people in. And if you do it by giving away a book in your genre, you can make sure that they are your ideal readers. Another way to get people on your email list is to have an opt-in on your web page with a freebie. Okay, so if people come to your webpage and they see your opt-in, and a really popular freebie right now that works for a lot of people is a short story related to your current work in progress or one of your other books that if you've already published them. So a short story, and it doesn't have to be long. It could be like 5,000 words. It doesn't have to be long. It's not like a novella, just a short story, because these people are readers, and the benefits of that is if they like your writing and they like your short story and they get just enough teaser to want more, right? Then they're going to buy your book when it comes out. So that's another great way to get people onto your email list. Another easy way to get people on your email list is to have an invitation to join your email list at the end of every book you publish. And see, that's not as good. That's good for people who have books coming out. So if you have a bunch of books out already, make sure you have an invitation to sign up for your newsletter at the end of the book. But the other options are for people who are maybe just starting. And yes, now is the time to start building your email list. Even if you haven't published a book yet, how much better to have a book, have your email list already grown, and then when you publish your book, you can send them an email saying, hey, we've got someone in the Academy who had almost 5,000 people on her email list before her first full-size book was published, full-length book was published. 5,000! Okay, so that's where you want to get. You want to get thousands of people on your list before it's published, and then when it's published, you're like, hey, you guys, my book is out, and you've built all this goodwill between them, and so people buy it. Okay, the final way to get people onto your newsletter is to literally just ask them. So when you're in conversation with somebody about your book, okay, and you're like, oh, hey, yeah, I have a book. It's a da, 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 da. And they're like, oh, that sounds great. Can you let me know when it comes out? At that moment, when they say, let me know when it comes out, you say, great. The easiest way for me to keep track of you and all the people who are going to want to know. Now you have to say it like that. You say the easiest way for me to let you know when it comes out is to add you to my newsletter, and then I'll send you an email when it comes out. That's the easiest way. Like, would you like to give me your email address, and I'll let you know when it comes out because you're on my newsletter list. And that's the easiest way. Ask people. Say, would you like to be on my newsletter? And know when my book comes out. I'll tell you when my book comes out. And people will say yes or no, but if you don't ask them, they don't even have the opportunity to say no or yes. Okay, so you definitely want to just be able to just ask them. We've got kitty fun happening behind me and around me, you guys. So sorry about the distraction. The distracting kitties. Hi, Charlie. There he goes. Okay. Now, if you're worried about the logistics of any of these things, like the giveaways or the opt-ins, because there's a little bit of logistics on these, if you're worried about them at all, you might want to check in with us about the Author Boss Academy. We actually have step-by-step instructions, like literally, here's step-by-step instructions with screenshots of how to set up a giveaway and get people's newsletters for free and get people's emails for free without having to pay for a giveaway service. So we've got step-by-step instructions on how to do this in the Academy. So if you're like, I don't know how, or the tech makes you a little bit worried, you might consider we are doing an info session about the Academy today, and I will tell you, I'll put the link in there in a little bit. Okay, so if these sounds like reasonable and understandable ways to build your email list, let me know if you're like, okay, yeah, I can do those. That makes sense. So go ahead and let me know if that makes sense, because I want to make sure you guys are getting the value. I want to make sure that you're like, okay, I see it. I can see it. I can see how it's done. And yeah, it's doable. And if it doesn't seem doable, check out the Academy. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do, is bump my computer so I wiggle a little bit. It's like on Star Trek when they're in a crash. Sorry, I'm distracted. Okay. The second topic we're going over is a Q&A. So you guys, if you have any questions, come to the original post. I think on the shared one, I'm not seeing people's comments or questions necessarily. So if you come to the page, okay, let's see. Sarah has a good question. She says, when you go to a networking event, you can ask people for their business card. Isn't it okay to add folks to your email list? When you ask for their business card, if you say, hey, would you like to be on my newsletter? You can't just do it without them. Or if you send them an email after you get the business card saying, hey, would you like to be on my newsletter? But networking event, Sarah, I have more questions though. What kind of books do you write? Because what you want, you want ideal readers on your list, not just anybody. So if you're not a writer, if you're not an author, then sure, there's different things, but you want your ideal readers or ideal customers on your email list. You don't want to send emails to just everybody, because that's a waste of your time and energy and money. Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys can maybe hear my dog in the background. He's fine. Okay. So does that make sense, Sarah? The next point is somebody asked a question. Little booger. Me and you guys, we're taking a field trip. We're taking a field trip in the middle of my Facebook Live. You guys can see a little bit of my house, my boobies. Okay, next question is, I'm just beginning my first manuscript. I wonder when I should start building a following. Now is the time to start building a following, you guys. I'm so sorry about that interruption. So now is the time to start building a following. Like I said earlier, if you want to have 5,000 people on your email list when you publish, now is when you want to start. Okay, question number 2. That was Shannon Marone. Okay. The next question was from Robin Dix. It says, I don't know how to set up a newsletter or even what I would say that offers value. And Evelyn Gould Goldman said, I'm not published, so I'm not sure what I'd put in a newsletter, and I have a very small email list. Plus, I have no idea how to grow it. So we just talked about how to grow it, and in last week's video, you guys, we talked about 3 topics about what to say when you're sending your email newsletter. So we talked about what the topics are last week in the last video. So you can be like, what do I send them? What do I even send people? That's in the last video. Okay, question from Diane T. McLaughlin said, I struggle to market my work and myself because I don't want to brag or be pushy. So many people. I need to find the right way for me. That is such a great question, you guys, because it's so hard, especially for us as women. It's really hard to sell ourselves or our products or things that we ourselves have created. And so I want to talk a little bit about, because I know a lot of people have this feeling of being pushy or sleazy. And the great thing about you guys as authors is that you are in an abundance market, right? So the more people, the people buy a lot of books. You aren't like, it's not like cars where people buy one book and then they or let's say where they buy one car every 5 years or so, and everybody's competing to be that one purchase. Readers are like want to read more. Like people who read love reading. We want to read more. We're constantly looking for new authors, and we can all read a lot faster as readers. I'm talking to myself as a reader. We can read a lot faster than authors can write. Like I can read a book in a weekend, easy peasy, and they take something that takes them months to write. So we're so fortunate as authors to be in an abundance market where the demand is so much greater than the supply. And you're like, how can that be possible? Because you go to Amazon, you see there's tens of thousands of books. People have their preferences. And if you think about this, how many people do you know that read? And then how many people do you know that write? Only the smallest percentage of people who read are also writers. It's just from your perspective, and you're hanging out with all these writers and you're looking at all these books. You're like, there's so much competition. But actually, no, because of those things, there's so many more readers than there are writers. Okay? Most people who read romance don't write romance. There's only a tiny percentage of readers who also write romance. Plus, people keep buying books. So those two, like the people are constantly looking for new authors. So that's, I just want to say you don't have to be pushy. When you're being pushy, it's really not like that. What it is that you find your ideal audience, the people who are looking for more books, and then you just put your book in front of them. And that's kind of all you have to do. like if you find somebody who absolutely loves Bear Shifter novels and they've read all the Bear Shifter novels, and you have a Bear Shifter novel, you can just put it in front of them and tell them a tiny bit about it. And they're like, yes, sign me up for that book. I want to buy it. It's really that easy, which is so lovely. I mean, the actual implementing mentally is challenging, but it's not that hard. So okay, so Sarah has a question. She says, how do I access last week's presentation? I am going to tell you. I have the link. I have a little outline here, Sarah, so I make sure to get all the good points for you. So I have a link to the previous presentations. Okay, so Sarah, let me tell you what all we covered this month in when we were talking about email lists and newsletters. This is like a crazy pet day, you guys. I am so sorry. Crazy pet day. Okay, the first week we talked about how to get started with your email list. So I actually walked you through what service to use and how to set it up. Okay, so it was like, what service should you use as a new author, and how to actually set it. I walk you through step by step, like here's how you get it set up. So that's what we talked about the first week. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. The second week I talked about your first newsletter, which is how and why to set up an automated email. And automated emails are so nice because you set it up one time in MailChimp or whatever email service you're using, and then you don't have to think about it. Everybody who signs up to your newsletter list at least gets that one welcome email, feeling like warm fuzzies that the people the authors that they signed up to have already responded to them. And that was what we covered in the second week. Last week we talked about what to send in your newsletter and how often to send them. And it was a lot less often than most people think. And the content is a lot easier and simpler than most people think. So if you want to know what to send and how often, you're going to want to go check out that video. And so, let me see, where is that? Okay, so if you want to check out the previous videos, you can go to the videos tab on the Author Like a Boss page. The page, and if you want to like that page, then of course you'll get notified when we do these videos. Because so if you like the Author Like a Boss page, which I just put the link into the chat, and go to the videos tabs and look for my smiling face or whatever goofy face that Facebook has decided to screenshot. That's where those videos are. Okay. So you guys, if you're worried about logistics if you're worried about the technical stuff, or you're worried about the logistics of your email and setting up your email and start collecting them and then getting newsletters out, if you're like, okay, because I've given you a lot of information this month, and you have enough to go out and do it, you guys, you can do it. But if you find yourself that you're not doing it, or you're not doing it like you want to, and you need the accountability, or you need some help somehow, you're like, oh, maybe, I know I can do it, but it'd be a heck of a lot easier to just have somebody telling me what to do instead of having to figure it out myself. Go ahead and consider joining the Author Boss Academy. Okay, so we're having an info session today, and the reason we're having it today is because the price is going up on the 1st of the month. So today and tomorrow are the last day of the current price. And so if you're even on the fence about maybe, or you're just like, well, let me just find out, go ahead and come today to our info session and find out what the Academy is about. We're also going to talk to you about the 3 mistakes people make with their writing, the 3 biggest mistakes people make with their marketing, and then we're going to give you 3 awesome solutions. Okay, plus we'll tell you about the Academy and give you an invitation to join the Academy at the price that it's at right now, because the price is going up. Lori says, it's the best money I have ever spent. I love you. We are really, like, if you want more of this loveliness or Megan, it's hard to say, but I mean, like, come check it out. Check it out. There's no commitment to check it out, right? And then if you feel like, oh, this is the right thing for you in your author career right now, then you can join us at the best price, because we want you to get the best price. It's like we're generous. We are also in an abundance market, and we want everybody to get the best price and have the best experience with us. So here is where you can register to attend the info session. So if you want to find out more, it's today. And even if you can't attend, it will automatically send you a replay of the info session. So if you want to find out and you feel like, oh, I can't go today, go ahead and sign up, and it'll send you the replay. And the reason why I'm like, yes, you should sign up, because you can watch it before tomorrow. And if you sign up tomorrow, you can still get the good price before it goes up on the 1st of the month. So sign up for that info session, how to author like a boss. Yeah, how to author like a boss. And we will, there's so much stuff. You guys, there's so much stuff in the Academy. This bit about emails and newsletters and that I've just shared with you today is like the tiniest little portion of information that we give you, plus the community is amazing. So, but we have video tutorials. We walk you through how to set up an automated sequence, step-by-step instructions, plus video tutorials. We have worksheets. We have Steal Me templates. So you're like, what do I put in my newsletter? We actually have templates that you can steal and then plug your own information in. Like, it's craziness how much stuff we have. We have weekly live calls with Megan or I, so that you guys can get some one-on-one attention if you want to deep dive in and talk with one of us, or you have a real question that you're like, oh, but I just don't know how to do this, or oh, I just need this help with my book description. You can sign up for a deep dive and get 15 to 20 minutes of back and forth one-on-one attention from Megan and I about your particular issue. And of course, we have a private Facebook group that we hang out in and are active and helping you guys all the time, because we want you to be successful authors. That is what our passion is what we love. Books. I always growing up was like, how can I make money reading? How can I make money with books? I love books, but I didn't want to be an editor and I was like, how can I make money doing this? I found it. Helping other people with their books that I get to then read, which means there's more books for me. The whole thing is all a selfish plan that I made so that I could have more books that I love. That's my evil laugh. Okay, Lori said, 5 months ago, I had half a book. Ella I found you. And now she has a book coming out in March, contacts with other authors, and a fledgling fan base, a Facebook page, a newsletter, and a very active Twitter account. Oh, and did I mention that my book launches in March? Oh, we love you guys so much. Trish says the Academy is awesome. The girls are so helpful and understanding of every step you go through. Come find out. Plus, you get to hang out with Lori and Trish and bunches of other amazing authors. Like amazing. Like I say that goofily because it's, selling is sometimes uncomfortable, but seriously, the women in the Academy are freaking amazing. Like freaking superstars, and we love them. So, and they're like normal women who are superstars, so you can fit right in. Okay, so find out more. Come to the webinar. Come to the info session webinar. Find out more. Check out those other trainings on emails and newsletters. And next month, so in February, I am talking about how to engage your ideal readers and fellow authors on social media. So it's like those questions that you have about, oh, okay, so I'm on social media. Now, how do I talk to people and interact with them? Because it feels awkward when you're trying to sell something. So that's what I'm talking about in February. So keep an eye out about how to engage with people on social media in a very natural and enjoyable way so that all of your time that you spend on Facebook can actually be time spent building your fan base. Carrie says she is far from normal. That's true. We all have listen, it's a group of creatives, okay? So we're like normal for being authors. Okay. I love you guys, and I'm having so much fun with you. I could go on all day, and this. You know how much fun we have together, learning and building our businesses and having fun. But I am going to go and hopefully get ready for this info session training and see you guys later. Bye.